Have you ever gazed up at the night sky from your backyard and wished it looked like something straight out of a science fiction blockbuster? Imagine stepping outside, coffee in hand, and instead of the usual stars and moon, you're greeted by a cosmic spectacle that seems almost too magical to be real. Today, let's take a wild leap into one of the most mind-bending what-ifs in all of space science, one that would change not just our view, but our entire world. What if Earth had rings like Saturn? Picture it, our blue planet wrapped in shimmering bands of ice and rock, visible from every corner of the globe. First off, the view would be absolutely jaw-dropping. No matter where you lived, the sky would be transformed into a living work of art. In cities like New York, Tokyo, or Rio, every sunrise and sunset would be painted with sweeping bands of light and shadow as the rings caught the sun's rays and scattered them across the horizon. Imagine the golden hour, but multiplied by 1,000, colors you've never seen before, dancing across the sky. At night, the rings would glow softly, reflecting the light of distant stars and the moon, creating a celestial halo that would make every evening feel enchanted. During the day, these rings could cast enormous shadows over entire continents, creating moving patterns of light and dark that would drift across the land. Imagine looking up and seeing a shimmering arc stretching from one horizon to the other, a constant reminder that our planet is part of something much bigger. But these rings wouldn't just be beautiful. They'd actually change the way Earth works in some pretty dramatic ways. Depending on how thick and wide they were, the rings could block sunlight from reaching certain parts of the planet. Some regions might become cooler, with less direct sunlight, while others could experience new weather patterns as the rings cast their shadows. This could mean milder summers, longer winters, or even entirely new climates in places that are now deserts or rainforests. The seasons themselves could shift, as the rings changed the way sunlight reached the surface. Days might even get a tiny bit shorter, as the gravitational pull of the rings subtly altered Earth's rotation. Over thousands of years, these changes could reshape the way plants grow, animals migrate, and even how humans live and build our cities. So, what would these rings actually be made of? Would they look like Saturn's, or would they be something totally unique to Earth? Saturn's rings are mostly made of ice and dust, but Earth's rings could be a wild mix: frozen water, chunks of rock, maybe even pieces of ancient comets or asteroids that got caught in our gravity. Who knows? We might even discover new materials, never before seen, sparkling in the sunlight high above our heads. Scientists would be obsessed with studying these rings, sending up satellites and telescopes to analyze their composition. We'd learn so much more about our planet's history, and maybe even about the early days of the solar system itself. And just think about the cultural impact. For thousands of years, humans have looked up at the sky and told stories about the stars and planets. If Earth had rings, those stories would be even more incredible. Ancient art would be filled with images of the ringed sky, and legends would grow around the mysterious bands that circled our world. Maybe entire religions or mythologies would be built around the rings, with gods and heroes living among them, or epic tales explaining how they came to be. In the modern world, we'd probably have festivals dedicated to the rings. Imagine fireworks shows timed to the shadows they cast, or music festivals where the rings are the backdrop. Artists, poets, and filmmakers would find endless inspiration in the ever-changing sky. Our sense of wonder would be renewed every single day. Even in schools, kids would grow up learning about the rings as a normal part of life. Science classes would include field trips to observatories just to watch the rings, and every child's drawing of Earth would include those iconic bands. So, now it's your turn to imagine. If you could redesign Earth, what wild feature would you add? Would you go for glowing rings, floating islands, or something even stranger? Let your creativity run wild. Picture a world where the sky is never the same twice, where every day brings a new pattern of light and shadow, and where the impossible becomes reality. Drop your wildest ideas in the comments. I can't wait to see what you dream up. Maybe your vision will inspire the next great what if in science.